Since you're attacking us, can you give us a question? No, Mr. President-elect.
Go ahead.
Mr. President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance?
Your organization
You are attacking our news organization. Can you give us a chance to ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can you state, Mr. President-elect,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically,
she's asking a question. Don't
Mr.
be rude.
President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
You're attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you give us a question?
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically that nobody... No, Mr. President-elect, that's not appropriate.
Let me just ask you while we're standing outside, could you hear the voices from the Women's March here in Washington? We know there were more than 1 million people who turned out, and you are their president now, too.
That's true.
Could you hear them from the White House?
No, I couldn't hear them, but the crowds were large, but you're going to have a large crowd on Friday, too, which is mostly pro-life people. You're going to have a lot of people coming on Friday, and I will say this, and I didn't realize this, but I was told, you will have a very large crowd of people. I don't know, as large or larger. Some people say it's going to be larger, pro-life people, and they say the press doesn't cover them.
I don't want to compare crowd sizes again.
No, you shouldn't. But let me just say, what they do say is that the press doesn't cover them.
I feel that what you said, when you said that the people across the border are rapists and murderers.
No. We're talking about illegal immigration, and everybody understands it. And you know what? That's a typical case. Wait. That's a typical case of the press with misinterpretation. They take a half a sentence. They take a half a sentence. By the way, they take a half a sentence, then they take a quarter of a sentence, they put it all together. It's a typical thing. And you're with Telemundo, and Telemundo should be ashamed. And I'll tell you something, what's really going to be fun? I'm right now suing Univision for $500 million, and I want to tell you. We're going to win a lot of money because of what they do. So I want to just, again, I want to thank you. No, you're finished. You've obviously been proven to me.
Reasons is that, let me tell you, the people don't trust you, and the people don't trust the media.
Right.
And I understand
and politicians.
why. You know, I've always been covered fairly accurately because it was usually a financial press. And, you know, numbers are numbers, okay? And my numbers happen to be great. So I was always sort of treated like fair. With the media, it's... in not all cases, some of the political media is great and really honest. Even if they don't want to be, they're really honest. But I find that 60–70% of the political media is really people. Just let's get it straight. They don't want to give it straight because the press are liars. They're terrible people. But here's an idea.
There are, for immigrants on the whole,
Come on, try getting it out. Try getting it out.
I'll get it out.
I mean, I don't know if you're going to put this on television, but you don't even know what you're talking about. Try getting it.
The polls came out and said I won. And the media, look at all those people back there. Scavengers. They're like scavengers.
They'll probably say the crowds were about equal. Oh, they were equal. But that's the way they are, very dishonest.
CNN is terrible. CNN. You're with CNN? Are you with CNN? Are you? You people do not cover us accurately at all. So they have a few protesters outside. And they have thousands of people, and the first question from CNN is about protesters. So what I'm going to do is span out. Show them the crowd, press. Show them the crowd. Show them the crowd. Look, they're not turning the cameras. They don't even turn the cameras. They don't even turn the cameras because you know what? They're very dishonest people.
Because you know what they do? They have the camera, live television, on my face the entire amount. My wife goes, I go home. Were there any people there tonight, darling? They don't see. They never show the crowds. Frankly, I don't even think they give a damn about education, half of them. And I'm sure some maybe do.
To use that word in this form?
I will. Because people want to hear the truth, Frank. I watch you all the time. They want to hear the truth.
Correct.
Frank, we have to be able to express ourselves.
But referring to people as rapists, referring to John McCain, a war hero, 5.5 years as a POW, and you call him a dummy. Is that appropriate in running for president?
Okay, you got to let me speak, though, Frank, because you interrupt all the time, okay? So, no.
But I want the cameras to span the room. Go ahead, fellas, watch. They don't turn them. They don't turn them. They don't turn them. Go ahead, turn them. Look. Turn the camera. Go ahead. Turn the camera, ma'am. Turn the camera. You with the blonde hair. Turn the camera. Show the room. Go ahead.
They don't turn them. What about, hey, you in the center, why don't you turn your camera? Show them how many people come to these rallies. Turn them. Go ahead, turn them. Go ahead. Thank you. That's the first time they've ever done that. Thank you. That's the first time. Amazing. Amazing. Because what's going on is amazing. And I'm telling you...
Steve Bannon, one of your top advisors, just the other day to the New York Times, called the media the opposition party. Do you believe that?
I think to a large extent they're much more capable than the other side. I think the media, I think the media is the opposition party in many ways. And I think that, and I'm not talking about all media. I know people like yourself, but I know people in the media that I have tremendous respect for, respect them as much as anybody. So I'm not talking about everybody, but a big portion of the media, the dishonesty, the total deceit and deception makes them certainly partially the opposition party, absolutely.
I knew, and I actually saw their names, and I said, well, why would they put them up? They're going to speak so positively about me. I was wrong. And I said, oh, I'm going to hit them. I'm going to get them. Am I going to get them? I'm going to start talking about them like you never believed. I'm going to hit them. Now, obviously, I'm talking about with my verbal. Said, I'm going to get them. I'm going to let them have it. Maybe a tweet or maybe this or that. But I'm going to hit them hard. So, I'm going to hit them hard. So on CNN this morning, I see, you know, on the bottom, Trump says he's going to hit speakers. I mean, they are so dishonest. I'm going to hit speakers. Ay, ay, ay. That's why we have to win, right? That's why we have to win. I'll tell you, CNN is really, you know, they call it the Clinton News Network. It's really a dishonest group of people. They are terrible. Oh, their camera just went off. You know, I see the red lights. I know all the cameramen by now, right? Hi, fellas. But I see the red lights. That red light just went off so fast. It was funny. We were having fun yesterday. I said, they said really bad things. I'm going to hit them. I'm going to hit them hard. We're going to get them. And in fact, I even called up a friend of mine, a governor called up. He actually called me. He said, you're doing great, fantastic. And I talked about the thing. He said, don't do anything. Don't do anything. Don't say anything bad about anybody. Don't talk. I told them the story yesterday. And then they put Trump to hit, because at some point I said, I'm going to hit them, I'm going to hit them hard. I mean verbally, right? Does everybody understand? Headline, Trump threatens, right? I don't know if they said that, but it is really. I'll tell you, CNN is so dishonest. It's actually disgusting. You want to know the truth. I'm telling you, I opened the door, I looked out the window, I said, wow, it's so different from what they report. These people up here, they are the worst. And you know what it's called? By the way, you know what it's called, don't you? It's called voter suppression. Just keep it going, folks. We're fighting a crooked establishment, and just about the biggest part of the crooked establishment are these people right back there with the phony cameras.
I think it was disgraceful that the intelligence agencies allowed any information that turned out to be so false and fake out. I think it's a disgrace. And I say that, and that's something that Nazi Germany would have done and did do. I think it's a disgrace. That information that was false and fake and never happened got released to the public. As far as BuzzFeed, which is a failing pile of garbage, writing it, I think they're going to suffer the consequences. They already are. And as far as CNN going out of their way to build it up, and by the way, we just found out I was coming down. Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen is a very talented lawyer. He's a good lawyer in my firm. It was just reported that it wasn't this Michael Cohen they were talking about. So all night long, it's Michael Cohen. I said, I want to see your passport. He brings his passport to my office. I say, hey, wait a minute. He didn't leave the country. He wasn't out of the country. They had Michael Cohen of the Trump Organization was in Prague. It turned out to be a different Michael Cohen. It's a disgrace what took place. It's a disgrace. And I think they ought to apologize to start with Michael Cohen.